Welcome once again in the videos on the sonnets of William Shakespeare. In the last two videos, I have discussed with you two sonnets of William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee? And not marble nor the gilded monuments. Now it's the third sonnet, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds, which I will discuss with you and explain to you today in this video. I am Dr. Vinita Bhadoria, Associate Professor of English in Government College, Behror. This video is useful for the students of BA Part 1 and this belongs to the first paper, Poetry and Drama. This sonnet is one of Shakespeare's most famous love sonnets published in 1609 in the collection Sonnets. The main theme of this sonnet, like so many of Shakespeare's sonnets, is love. In the poem, he is talking about the constancy and permanency of love. While this sonnet is clumped in with the other sonnets that are assumed to be dedicated to an unknown young man in Shakespeare's life, this poem doesn't seem to directly address anyone. In fact, this sonnet seems to be the speaker's in the case, perhaps Shakespeare ruminations on love and what it is. It develops the theme of the eternity of true love through an elaborate and intricate cascade of images. Poet first states that love is essentially a mental relationship. The central property of love is truth, that is, fidelity, and fidelity proceeds from and is anchored in the mind. It is about romantic love and steadfastness. The tone of the poem is calm and certain. Just like its subject matter, the speaker of the poem explains that true love does not change over time. The sonnet is addressed to a young man who is supposed to be his patron, the Earl of Southampton, though the identity is not certain. Now I read the poem for you, then I explain and analyze the poem for you. Let me not the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Impediments, obstructions. Marriage is union. Marriage of true minds means union of faithful lovers. These lines are perhaps the most famous line in the history of poetry, regardless of whether or not one recognizes them as belonging to Shakespeare. Here he is saying that there is no reason why two people who truly love should not be together. Nothing should stand in their way. Perhaps he is speaking about his feelings for the unknown young man for whom the sonnet is written. Shakespeare was unhappily married to Anne Hathaway, and so perhaps he was rationalizing his feelings for the young man by stating there was no reason. Even if one is already married, that two people who are truly in love should not be together. The second half of the second line, admit impediments. As I told you, impediments are obstructions. So he said that new thoughts which is then carried on into the minds of lovers. So in these lines the poet lays stress on the firmness of true love or friendship. True love cannot be resisted. The poet believes that world by obstacles cannot prevent or bar the happy union of true lovers. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. Alter changes. Or bend is remove. Turn. Bends with the remover to remove. He says if they are truly loyal to each other, then nothing on earth can separate them. The poet says that true love does not depend for its strength on the response from the loved ones. True love or friendship does not turn away from its natural courses when the beloved is inclined to part. In other words, true lover is always constant in his love. This is also the central idea of the poem. His love and devotion will remain constant even if the beloved grows cold and breaks up. According to the poet, if love changes, it is not truly love. Because if it changes or if someone tries to remove it, nothing will change it. Love does not stop just because something is altered or changed. As glitched as it sounds, true love, real love, lasts forever. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It says that love is something that does not shift, change, or moved. It is constant and in the same place, just like a fixed mark. And it can weather even the most harrowing of storms or tempests and is never even shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. According to the poet, the true love is constant and never changing. No earthly power in this world can shake the love of a true lover. Now he says, oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every warning bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. He compares here love to a permanent sea mark, like a lighthouse. Sea mark. What is our fixed mark? A mark in the sea, which is known as lighthouse. The waves and the sea storms come and strike against the lighthouse, but they fail to do any harm. Similarly, the lighthouse remains firmly standing at its place. Similarly, true love cannot be shaken by the difficulties of life. The light of true love shines constantly in the storms of life. Storms of life, struggles of life. Secondly, the poet compares true love to the pole star. He said it is the star. The star is the pole star. Pole star, Dhruv Tara. To every wandering bark. The pole star helps the drifting sailors in keeping their ship along the right courses. Life is also like a stormy sea, where we are likely to lose our path. It is only the constant light of true love that prevents us from wandering away to wrong paths. There's another similarity between true love and the North Star. It is not only serves to guide the sailors but its fixed position in the sky and its light, but it has an additional value also. It exercises a mysterious influence on human life. It has an astrological significance also. Similarly, love also serves a twofold purpose. It brings happiness in the lives of the persons, gratifying their worldly desires, and it exercises a mysterious uplifting influence on their character. So, in other words, we can say love not only gives physical happiness but gives a spiritual benefit also. This spiritual benefit cannot be estimated although we feel it. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the age of doom. Fool, time's fool, plaything. Time's fool, the victim of time. Rosy lips and cheeks representing physical beauty, which are not permanent, are temporary. Physical beauty is temporary. Bending sickle, skith, हंसिया हंसिया जिसे कहते हैं अपन. Compass is extent, range. Love alters not. Time cannot destroy love. And it is not bent within time. So, in these lines, Shakespeare said, about the everlasting nature of true love. As compared to physical beauty, true love is immortal. Though the physical beauty is mortal and temporary, but true love is immortal. It does not perish. Time cannot destroy love, although it destroys beauty and youth. Physical beauty is something which is short lived. The poet here personifies time as a reaper with a sickle in his hand. Time can easily cut the crop of physical beauty, but his arm cannot destroy true love, the soul of the love. The love is constant. Like physical beauty, love does not change with the advance of time. Time can never affect true love. It remains the same till death. At age of doom till the last age of doom. He says that true friend remains the same till the last moment of his life. Indirectly, he hints to the Earl of Southampton that the physical beauty of the dark lady who had charmed his way away from him would soon wither. But his friendship for the Earl will last till death. In short, the poet wants to point out to his patron that although he has given him up for such a pretty thing as the physical charm of a woman, yet he will remain loyal to him all his life. Now, the concluding line: if this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Error, error is mistake. Writ is an old form of wrote. That means I never wrote a true word. This is a couplet, and in this concluding couplet, poet expresses his full faith in his philosophy of love stated in the sonnet, that love cannot be changed. The poet says that if his view of love is wrong, and if it is proved so in his own case, then he would conclude that he is not a poet, and then no one has ever loved truly in this world. The poet says that if he is proved wrong in his philosophy of love, then he will give up all claims to being called a poet. The poet is conveying here that if his words are untrue, nothing else would exist. The words he just wrote would have never been written, and no man would have ever loved before. He is adamant about this, and these tough words are what strengthen the sonnet itself. The speaker and poet himself are convinced that love is real, true, and everlasting. Shakespeare makes use of several literary forms in this sonnet: alliteration, personification. Alliteration is concerned with the repetition of words that begins with the same consonant sound. For example, marriage, mind in the first line, remover, remove in the fourth line. The second line of the poem is a good example of a pause. Admit impediments. Love is not love. These are few examples. There are another example in the eighth line, whose words are known, although his height be taken. The pauses, small pauses he has uses as literary device. In the sestet of the poem, poet uses personification. Time and love both are personified. This sonnet is also a true Shakespearean sonnet, also known as Elizabethan sonnet or English sonnet. A 14-line poem, again 3 quatrains, contains 4 lines each, and end with a rhyming couplet. The rhyme scheme of this sonnet is AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, GG. Like most of Shakespearean works, this sonnet is written in iambic pentameter, which means each line consists of 10 syllables, and within those 10 syllables there are 5 pairs which are called iambs. One stressed syllable followed by an unstressed syllable. So this is all in this video. Thank you.